What happens when you start to laugh? Like when you hear someone laughing, you want to laugh. So it's the same. Like when you're activating that in yourself, you're activating the light in your heart. You're activating your light. Yeah?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Linda Leclerc is a pioneer in the laughter yoga movement in North America, laughter expert, and author.
I ended up with whiplash, so I had to do physiotherapy for months and months. I started to wonder, when is the last time that I really, really laughed? A good hearty laugh, deep, I could not remember. That's when I asked myself that question. I stopped laughing, and then I felt really sad because it felt like something so precious vanished.
You need something when I allow myself to be in this state of joy. Like, I like it.
When you're laughing like this with other people, you're helping them to bring out the best of them. So that's the best version of you when you're laughing.
I just want to quickly thank you for stopping by and starting to watch this Pause to Elevate podcast. If we haven't met before, I am Dr. Kasim Al-Mashat, registered psychologist, mindfulness teacher, teacher trainer, and just a human interested in mindset, mindfulness, and principles in psychology that can make a difference in your daily life. My mission is to support you in understanding your mind to transform your life. If you've subscribed, thank you so much. If you haven't done yet, go ahead and click that button. It really helps me to keep this going and reach out to more guests. You can also join our community by signing up to the free newsletter right over here, and it will keep you up to date on online courses about laughter, mindfulness, retreats, online programs, a lot of goodies. Would love to see you there. Meanwhile, enjoy this episode that's really intended to be for educational purposes and not a replacement for any advice, care, or direction from a healthcare provider. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am filled with smiles to share with you today's conversation with a pioneer in the laughter yoga movement in North America. My guest today is Linda Leclerc, and she has been practicing since 2003, and laughter is her full-time business. I mean, she means business with laughter. She's regularly invited by the media as an expert to talk about the benefits of laughter and works with companies and organizations throughout North America. She is named Master Teacher of Canada for Laughter Yoga and is the founder of HAHA Sisterhood, a community of women laughing internationally. She's also the author of a French book, Le Yoga du Rire, Laughter Yoga, and creator of the audio collection Destination Rire, Destination Laugh, and the first laughter yoga app, which I want to talk about. That's so exciting. Rire, Let's Laugh. She also produces a podcast series on the joy element, Le Élément Joie. She also developed an online auto coaching program to enhance joy and happiness in life. Plus, for those of you who are on TikTok, as of today, she has about 200,000 followers. So, my friends, if you are ready to fuel your laughter and joy, then join us in this uplifting episode. Linda, mon ami, bonjour to you and welcome to the Pause to Elevate podcast.
Bonjour, Kazim. Hello.
Hello. So good to see you. So good to share this
Such
conversation
a
with you.
pleasure to spend this time with you, darling.
Thank you so much. And I seriously, from the morning, I had this big smile on my face. And I think I shared this with you before we began. Like when I think of you, I just, something in me softens. I feel a smile on my heart. You just make people feel warm and welcomed. And really, you're so genuine in your heart. So, a big thank you for joining us today. And I know the audience and listeners will benefit from so much of your experience.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you so much. I wonder, where did this all begin? this deep dedication to laughter and success on a business level. But where did it begin, your journey
When
pursuing
I first
laughter?
started to do laughter yoga, you mean?
Yes, laughter yoga, and you realize, wow, you're wanting to dedicate so much of your time and business to it.
It's funny you ask that because whenever I train leaders or teachers, I always tell them like the minute that you start doing it, like the minute that you share this method with a group, you will want to do more and you will want to spread laughter everywhere because you're going to feel
Mm,
so much better and so positive about life and about everything. And I think
mm,
that this is like we get what's the word? Um completely drawn to it when we
mm,
just allow ourselves to do it with a group. I
mm,
remember that's
mm,
what happened to me. I was working. I was a well. I was doing a very serious job before.
mhm.
Very serious. I'm serious. Like this was. I was the executive director of a hospital foundation. I worked in
Mm,
development with like high level donors and like you need to be, I'm going to say ding, that's in French, so you need to be poised and very
yes.
you need to be warm and smiling and open and welcoming, but at the same time like this was the type of job that requested seriousness. And yeah, I think it was in 2000 or 98 when I went from working for a business school as a fundraiser,
Mhm,
and I went to work for an environmental organization, North American. I was driving a lot, I was traveling a lot because the people working with me under my supervision were spread all over the eastern part of Quebec, which
mm,
is kind of a large territory.
yeah.
And I was stuck in traffic in Montreal on the Metropolitan Boulevard, and I was stuck there. And the car behind mine didn't, like the driver didn't see that I was not moving, so he started
Honking,
to
yeah.
move and banged my car. So
Oh,
I got rear-ended. That's the way to say that. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so I ended up with that beautiful injury that we develop when it happens, called the
Oh,
whiplash.
no.
So I had to do physiotherapy for months and months, twice, three times a week. And do you
Mm,
know what happened when you get in an accident or when you have to have not surgery, but when you have to have a treatment like that, so do
mm,
regular treatments, like some days you feel like things are improving. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better. And some mornings you wake up and it's like, ah,
yeah.
ah. And that was one of these days when I was sitting at the at the waiting room at the physiotherapy clinic, and I was starting to cry because I was feeling miserable and
Oh,
discouraged, and I didn't want people to see that I was starting to cry because I was embarrassed of that. So I grabbed the first magazine on the pile and opened it up, and it was like, are you familiar with the magazine Homemaker or
mm,
something like that?
yeah, yeah.
I don't think it exists anymore, but way back when, like this was there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I opened it, and the first thing that I saw when I opened my eye was that this woman with beautiful blonde woman with a big wood spoon in one hand and a rubber chicken in the other one, and she was like this. And the title of the article
Big
was
smile on her
"Laugh It
face.
Off." And it's so funny because I took this as a personal message. I thought, laugh it off. Okay, so I think I'm
Oh,
taking everything way too seriously. And it's funny because I met that woman a few weeks ago at the conference in Canmore. And I
what?
looked at her and it was like, are you a lawyer? And she said, yes. I said, from Toronto? She said, yes. And I went to hug her. And she said, it's the first time in my life that someone asked me, are you a lawyer? And then hug me. Because the article was talking about this woman and a lawyer in Toronto who stopped practicing who stopped practicing law, and she was doing laughter yoga with clients and corporates, and she was spreading laughter and joy in the corporate world. And reading that, I started to wonder, like, okay,
Mm,
so when is the last time that I really, really laughed? Like, sure, I laugh a little bit every day, but a good hearty laugh, deep, I could
Mm.
not remember. I
Ah.
was like, well, I used to laugh like that when I was in university, but that was quite a long time ago.
Mm.
And I was laughing like that when I see my cousins, but we don't see each other every year. So
Yes.
what happened? Like
Ah.
I was not that serious person before. What happened? And they were
Mm.
talking about what's going on, excuse me, at work when people are very stressed and you have like goals that are difficult to reach and the bosses are
Pressures.
acting like lots of things like and
Yeah.
in this box like what they were describing, it made me feel like the only thing missing there, so they would talk about me, is my name. That was the
Mm.
only thing missing. Otherwise I was reading that and it was like, this is me. Next to
Mm.
that they were talking about the benefits of laughter.
Ah.
And that's when I asked myself that question. Okay, I stopped laughing. And then I felt really sad because it felt like
Mm.
something so precious vanished. I don't know where it's gone, but it's gone somewhere. And I no longer experience that. And
Mm.
then they were talking about laughter yoga. That's kind of, I was going to say, that silly method that encourages you to laugh intentionally like an exercise and just do it without using anything like no jokes or no comedy, or you
Mm.
don't use your sense of humor. You just laugh as an exercise. And I
Mm.
remember thinking, what? No.
Yes.
Because I'm sure that some people watching are probably thinking, yeah, because laughter symbolizes something like noise and
Yeah.
and yoga is like deep
Calm.
breath and be calm, and slow movement and quiet and silence.
Yes.
So to me, it was like, what now?
Almost contradiction. You're like,
Yeah,
what? How do you have both of these together?
yeah. But the more I was reading, the more it piqued my curiosity. Can
Mm.
I say that? Piqued my
Yes.
curiosity.
Yes. Yeah. It kind of piqued
I
it. You're
started
like,
to be really, really curious about that because,
mm.
okay, so you can train to laugh physically, and
Mm.
then after a while, it becomes natural and it's genuine. Okay. My
Mm.
background, I studied groups dynamics. So my
Mhm.
university degree is in groups dynamics. So I studied like training, evaluation, how a
Mm.
group works. Anyway, so to make a long story short, I thought, oh, I'm going to go there and learn this, and then I'm going to bring it back and do it with people in my job. So this way
Mm.
they'll be
Yes.
happier, and so will I. So that's how it started.
Wow.
But it's funny because I was willing to go to France. There was nothing here in Canada then. This was in
Mm.
2000, early 2003, and
Mhm.
nothing was happening here in Canada. There was clubs in the US,
Mm.
lots of clubs in Europe, India, and I looked at that, and they were offering a training in France, one in Paris and one in Mulhouse, and that's in Alsace. And I thought,
Mm.
ooh, I like Alsace wine. But Paris,
Mm.
And there was another training in Portland, Maine.
Mm.
Portland, Maine for me would be like 6 hours drive. And I thought, oh, okay, so that's closer. And if I
Mm.
don't like it, then I can always drive back home.
Yes. So
Okay.
Maine, not Oregon.
Yeah, no, no, no. Portland,
Mm.
Maine,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
So I was debating, okay, Paris, Portland, Paris. I'm
Let's.
going to Paris.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's see who won there.
So I decided to go to Paris, but then I was meeting a friend of mine downtown Montreal for like just for lunch, and I was telling her like, "Oh, I have this crazy idea. I'm going to go train to become a
Mm.
laughter yoga leader." And she said, "Oh, That's interesting. A client of mine came to the office the other day, and I think that he mentioned something about that. So I
Mm.
thought, ooh, put us in contact because if I'm
Oh,
going there and if I have a friend before, that'll be more fun. But the
yes.
guy was not flying there. He was inviting the founders of the Laughter Club movements to come to Montreal. It
Mm,
was their first trip to Canada,
mm.
first time in my country, in our country.
Yes.
And it was the only weekend that I had nothing on my
Oh,
calendar.
wow.
Nothing. It was completely open. So I
So the
took this as a sign.
so the training in Canada then ended up being
In
Canada?
Montreal,
Montreal.
not
Wow.
only in
And this is Dr.
Canada, but
Kataria.
he was coming to Montreal. It was the first time that
Wow.
he was coming to
Founder.
Montreal. First time in Canada. This was so like I thought, okay, this
How do
I
you
have to
not?
go.
How
I
do
have
you
to go.
not?
That's a no-brainer. I have to go. It was in my backyard. So I saved my
Mm.
points to go to France some other time.
What a beautiful story of
And
how
do
it
you remember
began.
that first morning of your training
Mm.
when you were asked to like say your name and laugh, where you're from and laugh, and what you do for a living and laugh? You remember I was
I,
very serious executive.
yeah.
Um, to this day, whenever I think of that, like if I speak with like if
Mm,
I became a speaker and a trainer, but if I speak in front of a large audience, I
mm.
always tell them, "Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do that." But I know what they're thinking because
Yeah.
I thought that. What?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm spending all that money, time away from home to do this?
Are you
Uh,
kidding
Come
me?
on, it's not funny.
Yes, yes.
But what happens when you start to laugh? Like when you hear someone laughing, you want to laugh. So when my turn, or when it was my turn, like I laughed so much that
Yeah.
I had tears in my eyes when I finished. Like it was
Yes.
difficult for me to say what I'm doing for a living because I was laughing so much. And when the whole group finished, like there were probably 16 of us, 15 or
Mm,
16 of us. And when the whole group finished, like I felt like, oh, okay, I could do this. Okay.
yeah. It's so surprising, isn't it? Like,
It
you shared
is.
your journey and it really began with this moment of pain. It's a
Yep.
pain point. And here, after an accident, here you are sitting in an office waiting for an appointment. You pick up a magazine, you open it, and there's a picture of someone with a big smile on their face and talking
Yep.
about laughter. But there's something that means also within you that was open and willing, because you could have just skipped that page and said,
Yeah.
what a silly page. But something in you, and I really believe that, like, there's something within us that just leans to that if we
That's
allow
funny. I've
ourselves.
never stopped to think about that. I could have
Ah,
like
you could
now
have.
what? Like I do with some other things.
Yeah.
Hmm. Thank you for making me think of that
Yeah.
because it's funny because my mom's sister uh, she was encouraging me to offer sessions where they live.
Mm.
And I remember thinking, oh, sure, I'll go. And now it's like I was meant to do that.
Mm.
I never questioned, like, could I have done it differently? Like, it was
Mm.
like, no, no, I'm meant to do that.
Mm. Mm.
Thank you.
Yes, it really stands out as you share this because you said yes to something. You
Hmm.
could have not said yes. And, for all the listeners too, we may get different inclinations. And sometimes our mind stops us. I don't know. But you
Yeah.
experimented. You said, let's go try it, even though your mind was like, laughter yoga, as an example, like, huh? Which was, by the way, my same reaction
Oh,
when I
yeah.
when I heard of it. It was 2006 or 7, and I was like, okay, that's silly. But like, like, what is like? How do you mean
Yoga is serious.
serious? Like, what do you mean laughter yoga? Like, and I tried it, and similar to what you're describing, for me, it surprised me how much I ended up laughing, even though my brain was confused and I actually didn't feel comfortable when I first began. I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
what are people
Me
going to think
neither.
of me? I'm just being
Me neither.
silly.
I don't know these guys and they don't know me. And it's like, oh, uncomfortable, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's why once in a while, when I see on someone's face, like I can feel it, they are thinking exactly what I thought in
Yeah.
2003. What am I doing here?
Yeah, and feeling like this is a little awkward,
This
but
is
it's
a lot awkward.
like, but you see, this, working with this discomfort is part of any practice.
Yeah.
If we gently lean into the discomfort, there's something at the other side of that.
Oh, yes.
So I wonder if you can help the listeners think about like why even develop laughter practice or laughter yoga? Like, what's a benefit, whether physical or mental health?
Well, you know the benefits physically, like on
Mm.
all the systems, like on our sometimes my brain refuses to think in English. I was going to say, all the physical benefits, like
Mm,
simply on our breathing system, like the
mm,
heart going faster, beating faster,
mm,
pushing the blood all over, like
mm,
because we're breathing way more than we're oxygenating our bodies, our brains. It's
mhm.
so good for up here when you oxygenate
Brain, yeah.
your brain. Like this is just the physical parts, like the lymphatic system being
Mm,
activated, the lymph flowing faster, like all that. This is really, really great. I see this as the top of the iceberg. The
mm.
top of the iceberg is like these are the physical benefits.
Yes.
Everything that you don't see, these are the real benefits for me.
Mm.
So the connection with others, the connection with your heart, stop being up here,
Getting
going down
lost in your
here a little
mind.
bit. So you're connecting with something. Sometimes I just give the example to people, like these little, you don't have a battery in the flashlight, and
Mhm.
you
Oh
just
yeah, that you wind it up
use
like
the
a charger.
dynamo
Like you're
there.
moving your hand like charging. Yeah,
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 so
yeah.
and then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
click
yeah.
it and it works. So
Yes.
it's the same. Like when you're activating that in your site in
Mm,
yourself, like you're activating the light in your heart. You're activating your
mm,
light. It's probably why I kept doing it.
mm.
It's not probably, it's surely why I kept doing it because I can feel it in myself. And I know that when you're laughing like this with other people, you're helping them to bring out the best of them. So that's the
Yeah.
best version of you when you're laughing
Mm.
because you're becoming more open, tolerant, even patient,
Yeah.
even.
Yes. I so love how you're describing it like as a tip of the iceberg, like the main things we all know. Like if you just, Google laughter, the benefits of laughter, you're going to get a lot research stuff, cardiovascular, mood improvement, stress reduction, all of it, serotonin. We
Stress
know this.
hormones, exactly.
But you need something. As you said it, it helped me frame it that way too,
Mm.
which is I experience myself differently when I allow myself to be in this state of joy. Like I like it.
Oof.
And do you know
It's
what I mean?
totally addictive.
Yeah, and then I like being around others where are in the same state. Like it's a state that it's available to us. So thank you for naming it that way. Like, yeah, there's the known benefits, but you're connecting to your heart and the heart of
Mm.
others. Mm.
What's under? That's it's probably in this shape, but
Heart shape.
you probably would see just a tip there. There's just a few things that you see.
Mm.
I think that for most of us, what would allow us to just enjoy this experience of intentional laughter is
Mm.
knowing up here that it's good for our health.
Mm.
So just knowing that it's good for you is I compare this to when you're on your stationary bicycle.
Hmm.
You're pedaling, but you're not going anywhere. You know that it's good for you. It's an aerobic exercise. It's good for your thighs. You're going to let go of some steam.
Yeah.
You're doing it even if you're not going anywhere. That's
Mm.
the example that I use. So it's the same thing.
Mhm.
I'm laughing intentionally because I know that it's going to be good for myself.
Yeah. So well said. The other thing that I do as well with it, besides the practice itself, is I found it showing up in my life more and more, like laughter,
Mhm.
where I forget my keys and everything in me goes, oh, and I go, just a little smile, like sucks, haha. Uh, Even preparing before podcast, I actually often do that. Just a couple of minutes, I sit, I breathe, a few moments of mindfulness, then I just a little laughter, just kind of relax my body. And that's kind of, I'm giving away some of my secrets, I guess, but it's not a secret.
No, it's not a secret. It's an interesting and it's a very
Yeah.
important tip that you're sharing there.
Yeah.
Because and for everybody watching, like whenever you are doing something,
Yeah.
when you're meeting people, like why don't you take a moment to just sit and then activate the positive vibe that could come out of
Mm.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the image that I keep getting. Like I have a very small flashlight. There's no battery in there, but there's just a little handle, and I keep
And you whine it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then and it lights. It
Yeah.
works.
Which has the same principle you're saying as any practice. It's not like you do it once and forever you'll be like lit. It's like it's a practice. We have to keep coming back and find opportunities. And that's how I found laughter yoga. When I tried it first, I'm like, this is kind of neat. And I remember the leader at the time, I said, I don't know, like, thank you. And he said, just give it a chance. Come back, give it another chance.
Exactly.
And the more I gave it a chance, like you said, I got hooked like you,
Yeah.
became a laughter leader, and then did the training with Dr. Kataria where I met you.
Yeah.
And I feel so fortunate to have met you way back. So,
It's so very easy. It's so very easy. And then the minute that you allow yourself to just do it, if you like to laugh, you're
mm.
completely addicted.
Yes. Yes.
I'm saying if you like to laugh
Yeah.
because I still have to meet someone who doesn't like to laugh though.
Mm.
But for some people, I'm sure that it's this is way too. I call this champ gauche, so it's too
Yeah.
far in the field. Like this is
Yeah. Yeah.
too
Yeah.
weird, strange, awkward. Name it the word that you want, but
Yeah.
and
Uh,
it's okay. There
Totally.
are some methods out there that are working wonderful with
Yes.
some people. For me, not as no, and
Yeah.
that's okay. Otherwise, we would all only eat vanilla cake.
Yeah. And even if we love vanilla cake, and I love vanilla cake, but it's like it's okay if other people don't, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Totally. I'm with you. I want to ask you this about laughter as well. Is there, you do a lot of also workshops and events for organizations and a lot of places. Do you come across some misconceptions about laughter? Like some things that people like don't really understand about laughter yoga, like you have to be happy to laugh, or is there
Yeah.
some things that come up in the work you've done?
Over the years, I would say yes.
Mm,
Um, yes, in a way that sometimes people look at me and they say, well, it's easy for you. You laugh all the time.
mm,
No, I don't. And it's not easier for me. I'm
yeah.
just training myself. So because I train myself, then it's like it comes more quickly, but it's not easier.
Mm,
And yeah, it's funny because I was recording a video this morning and I did something last week. I think I have a YouTube channel where
mm,
sometimes I have I share exercises, so
mhm,
I do this to inspire people and to help them,
mhm,
and sometimes I'm just sharing my reflections and my thoughts, And I've recorded a video last week when I was having a rough day. I woke up that day and I was not in a good mood. I didn't
Mm.
sleep well. I was overworked and it was like, yes, pressure, pressure, pressure. And I thought, every morning I'm on Zoom with a woman who became a friend because it's been almost 7 years. Every morning, weekdays, we're together, and she's my accountability partner. So I tell her, okay, so this is what I'm intending to do today. This is what I
Mm.
did yesterday. If I didn't do what I was wanting to do, why, and what's going
Mm.
on, and I need an idea. So we're just together
Oh,
for
beautiful.
5, 10 minutes every morning. And last week I had that day, that morning where it was like, okay, let's do this quick because I'm not in a good mood. And she said, you're not? And she started to tell me, like, okay, use your tools. Like,
Mm.
basically that's what she was telling me. But she says, oh, I've met this woman and she did a summit, La Bonne Humeur, and it's like the Good Mood Summit. And
Good mood summit.
she
Yeah.
was sharing with us like so many tips and tools that we can use when it happens to us. And I said, no, don't tell me that. No, I just need to stay in that mood for a few hours or for a few minutes until I figure out why have I put myself in that
Mm.
situation? Why am I feeling like that? I'm feeling like that. I need to acknowledge that and then I'll move on.
Mm.
And she was saying, well, you need to give me hope because you are my hope. If you are not applying what you're teaching, as I am, I'm just
Mm.
not running away from everything that I'm experiencing right now. I
Right.
need to be there and stay there. So I've recorded a video about that to
Mm.
just, it's in French though,
Yeah.
but to just share with whoever is watching, like, it's okay. We're all human beings. So it happens that some days are it's not the days, like all the days are good, but
Yeah.
we are experiencing not so or challenging situations,
Yeah.
and it's because we put ourselves in these situations sometimes. I know that
Mm.
I worked a lot for 4 months. I was driving a lot, I was working a lot with lots of groups, and right now I'm tired,
Yeah.
so it's okay for me to be grumpy.
Yes.
But how long am I going to stay grumpy?
Mm.
Why am I grumpy? Okay, I didn't sleep well. I worked too much. I had too many things on my mind. What can I do about that? So I took the list
Mm.
of things that I wanted to do and I started with the ones that made me feel like, no,
Mm.
no. I got rid of that and then I felt a bit lighter. And then the rest of
Mm.
the day went really, really well. And then I
Mm.
smiled.
Oh, I just want to unpack this because this is filled with like tips and wisdom, what you just shared, which is a
Mm,
true like pause to elevate. Like you paused and noticing, wait a minute, there's something I'm not feeling myself. And instead of rushing, I think sometimes we do that. We rush to feel better or fill it with Instagram, just not
yeah,
to feel, right? Or with food or substances, just not to feel. And you did something that's so important for healing is just feeling. Right now, I need to feel this. And then you took that to step back and go, let me use this to adjust. Right. So you've dropped some things like I don't want to do these things or I gotta create space. Like you used it as information rather than the toxic positivity that sometimes is out there. I just got to be happy. It's always wonderful and life is so
yeah.
great at every moment I
Smile,
wake
laugh.
up.
You're a laughter expert.
Yeah,
Smile, laugh. No.
no.
Or sometimes when people tell me that, like, oh, you're feeling sad. Well, just laugh a little bit. It'll change. I said, no. I
Yeah.
just want to tell them, and the word that comes to mind is not very pleasant, but it feels like, no,
Yeah, no.
now is not the time for that. Now is
Yeah.
the time for me to experience something.
Yeah.
Let me experience it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm sure that you're familiar with the concept. Like I use lots of visuals when I'm trying to make a point or when I'm teaching. I'm a physical person, so I use images to tell people like what I want to tell them. So you see the small yoga mats,
Mm.
they're very thin. Like
Yes.
if you go on the floor, if it's a wet floor or if it's a cold floor, you won't feel the cold because of this. It's very thin,
Mm.
but it's working like you're not going to be cold on that, and you're
Yes.
going to stay clean and dry.
Mm.
This is very thin. So
Mm.
when you're laughing, when you're allowing yourself to experience everything that you have to experiment, but when you're laughing and when you're filling your backpack with small but important events that
Mm.
make your heart filled with joy, like
Mm.
what happens is like you're, oh, how do I describe this? You're fluffing this
Mm.
pad, so you're adding thickness to it,
Ah.
and it becomes something that's a bit like it's so I can bounce on that, and
Mm.
I'm not going
It's
to
like a
hurt
focal
myself.
pointing. Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to if you fall on your thin yoga mat, like you might bruise yourself, or you
Mm.
might even break something, or damage your body,
Mm.
whatever. But when it's thicker, then you're bouncing on this. Sure, you're going to fall.
Mm.
Everybody falls, but you're going to fall, but you're going to bounce on
Yeah.
something. So that's like everything that I make sure that I apply to my life, everything that I'm teaching, and I'm hoping that people get, like, they get the point and they get an idea. Like,
Mm.
okay, so I'm not feeling so good today. So how about like I'm going to pour myself a nice something, coffee, tea, hot water
Mm.
in my nice cup. It's cute. I like this. I deserve a beautiful porcelain cup. Mm. So that's nice. It's
Yeah.
nothing big. It doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
But how about we use the nice cutlery? Is that the
Mm-hmm.
word?
Yeah.
Yeah, use that nice cutlery for our meal tonight.
Mm.
We might just be eating burgers. Who cares? Let's use the fancy dish that we keep up there for those days. Like today
Mm.
is the day.
Do it
Use this.
today. Yeah.
Like, ooh, I'm eating leftovers.
Yeah.
Put it in my nice dish. Woo. So that this is just simple things, but
Mm.
because you take care of that, then you're fluffing your mat. So
Ah.
then you can bounce on that. Oh, I took care of myself today. Oh, I
Mm.
prepared something like, oh yes, okay. Oh, this is not easy, but you're bouncing instead of falling and hurting yourself.
Mm. What a great visual.
I know.
This laughing, like when you're saying it, it becomes like a buffer, and that's part of, stress resilience or hardiness is you have some buffer that kind of absorbs it. So you're describing, and I guess it goes back to what you're saying is if you're not feeling good, it's okay you're not feeling good, and then taking care of yourself so you can buffer it by being nice to yourself. Like this is kindness. You're really describing kindness
Yeah.
and being present, enjoying tea, and like treating
Smiling,
yourself well.
laughing, like all that.
Yeah, yeah,
Taking the time to like listen to your favorite songs, like all that. It doesn't have to be big things.
yeah. Or purchasing massive. Sometimes
No.
people do like Amazon therapy. Let me buy. It's
Well, if you need someone to help you with that, then I
yeah.
can always like buy me
Buy
things.
me. Yeah, send me stuff. Send me stuff. That is so funny. you know, this you're talking about this buffer we're creating, and
Mm.
also some misconceptions. So one of them is it's okay to feel down as a human. Nothing wrong with it. Is that, and also a misconception people have is, well, I'm ill. I can't laugh because I'm not a very happy person, so I shouldn't do this. So, do you need to be happy before you start laughter?
Oh, Do you remember that beautiful quote by William James? We're not laughing because we're happy, but we're happy because we laugh. It's
Mm.
exactly that.
Ah.
And the idea behind laughter yoga is actually like you don't need to use your sense of humor and you don't need to wait
Mm.
for something to make you laugh. You can do it like an exercise. So you do it physically. You don't use this, you just use
Mm.
this. Well, this being my the rational, the mental, the sense of humor, like this
Yes.
is what most of adults like we're laughing because this is getting the point. It's probably funny, so okay, laugh. But when
Mm.
you do it intentionally, physically, then you're enjoying the same benefits. Well, yeah,
Mm.
and it doesn't take long before your simulated laughter becomes natural. So the thing that I've realized is for those days when I don't feel so good,
Mm.
I allow myself to do my 3 minutes of laughter, intentional laughter, and then I
Mm.
feel way happier,
Ah.
more cheerful. I even
Mm.
have some, like, I have tools to help me to do my 3 minutes. You see
Yes.
this? And then I
It's
turn
like a
it,
little
I flip it,
hourglass with a smiley
and
face.
it lasts 3 minutes. So I have to laugh until I'm done, like, this is
Ah.
done. I love it.
Could we actually, maybe we can do some exercises, laughter exercises for the
Sure.
listeners, and if anyone's interested, you can follow along as long as you're not driving or operating machinery. And
If you're driving, keep your hands on the wheel, and the first responsibility you have is for your safety and
yeah,
safety of the people on the road with you. So,
totally, totally, and maybe this can bring up ideas for the listeners to bring these daily practices to their life. So, how about we do a couple?
sure. Do
Yeah.
you have a favorite one?
The one you just were doing with the hourglass, maybe we can do something around that, like laughing for
3 minutes?
3 minutes, or maybe whatever you wish. Maybe it's a sample of on off, like trying this. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So
it's an
we
hourglass that has a
can.
smiley face. Maybe when you turn it on, makes us laugh, and you turn it off, we don't laugh. How about that?
Oh, that's hard though.
Yeah.
Every time that someone tells me, like, let's do the zipper laugh or something, like, when you do like that. I can't go on. I
That
can't.
is so.
The fourth time, like
That's a tough
I'm
one.
good for twice, and then the
Yeah.
third time is like, no, I'm gone.
It's hard to
I'm
laugh,
gone.
yeah.
I have to
For,
laugh.
for those who are just not watching, just listening, the zipper one is basically pretending you have a zipper on the mouth and you
You
do the
zip it
motion with your
on,
finger, zip it on, zip it off,
and
and
then you zip it off.
yeah.
Oh, we can do one like that's probably my most popular one on TikTok. So
Yes,
let's do that. I'm
let's
going
do.
to count, and you follow me. So
Yes.
ha
Ha.
ha
One.
ha
Ha ha.
ha ha ha
Ha ha ha.
ha 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 ha
Ha ha ha ha ha.
ha 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 ha
Ha ha ha ha ha ha.
ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha
Ha
ha
ha
ha.
ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha. I think I lost count.
That one gets me going every
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, tears are coming down now. uh,
Very good.
Feels so good to laugh. It feels
It does.
spaciousness in my lungs. Just it is a big exhale, isn't it? Like
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
It's funny because at the same time we feel relaxed and energized.
yeah.
I like that. It's like you
Ah.
let go of something and then it's like
This could be a laughter exercise when fingers come up and like you're doing this.
or the tickling laughter. One that I always, always, always love to do is the silent laughter. Like,
Oh,
you
yes.
know, when you're stuck in a meeting or in a
Yeah.
place where you're not supposed to laugh and then you want to laugh. So
Yes.
that's probably, and this is one of the most popular ones that when I work with groups, especially teams at work,
Yeah.
like this one is, I love it.
Let's
It's
do it.
see. Oh man, this always gets me going.
Oh,
Ah,
that's so good.
it's like this is amazing how easy it gets when you just allow yourself, you give yourself permission to
Mm,
just, okay, so I'm going to start laughing.
yeah.
And then you start laughing, you listen to someone, you see someone laughing, and then you want to laugh
Yeah.
too. And if you allow yourself to go in that kind of a vulnerable position of
Mm,
laughing openly, oh my goodness, we feel so much better.
yeah. Yeah. Totally. Like you can feel a softening in the shoulders. I feel an
Yeah.
openness in the lungs. I feel even my face is softer. And what did you call it before we began? We also did some exercises before we
Yeah. When
started
you
recording.
cry,
Yes.
yeah, well, we cry because when we laugh, our tear glands are squeezed by our cheeks. Like when
Mhm.
you're laughing, you're like, and your tear glands are squeezed by your cheeks. So this is why, like, we develop. I call this the laughter gloss on your
Laughter
eyes.
gloss. So I have a lot of laughter gloss right now on my
Laughter
face.
glass. Oh my goodness. Last weekend I was training a group of women, like they all became laughter yoga leaders.
Mm,
And two of them, like when we were doing the laughter meditation, normally well, you can do that sitting.
mhm,
You can sit on a chair, sit on the floor. But I love when it's possible to do it like we're just on the ground on our backs and we're laughing.
mm.
And she was telling me like my ears are filled with, with tears. Like she was laughing so hard. Like she said, my ears are filled with water. Like I can do it because she laughed so much. I was like,
Oh,
so it's good for every single part of
yeah,
our body.
yeah.
Seriously.
And we don't have to wait then. This is what's beautiful. We don't have to wait for things to make us laugh and just choosing, like making a commitment just to laugh. It could be just a minute a day.
Yeah.
And, if someone connected with the ones we did, they can just go back, rewatch that part, and just pick it up. Like
Yeah.
it's simple enough just to do, to laugh. And
Yeah.
this brings me as well to something I wanted to ask you about happiness versus joy. So sometimes it gets mixed for folks, and many of us chase happiness sometime in the future, where where
We wait to get something.
uh,
We're wishing for something to happen. So then we're going to be happy, right?
right, always later.
Always later and
Yeah,
always something more.
yeah,
Always.
yeah.
What's the expression in English? There's a word in French, l'hédoniste. So you get used to things. So
Mm,
if you wait for something to happen, like, oh, I'm going to be happy when I have my own house, and then you have your house and you're happy, but for a while
yeah,
then
hedonic.
you have to pay taxes, and they're like you need to pay for the roof to be done, and da da da, and it's like, oh, I'm going to be happy when I have a cottage on the ocean or a cottage on the lake, and then you get there, and then you have moles, and so, oh, I'm going to be. I remember because I always wanted to drive a Mini Cooper,
Mhm.
I thought, this is a happy car. I want to drive that. So I went to road test
Road
this,
test, yeah.
but I realized, like, ooh, this is fun. Then I thought, but that's too small. I'm carrying so much stuff when I'm training people, and I'm like, it's too small. It's not going to be for me. But
Mhm.
if you're like, I'm going to be happy when I get, like, I want this car, and then you're happy for a while and you get used to this and you always want more. I want a new iPad. I want a new iPhone. I want a new something. It's different.
It's never ending.
No, it's different.
Yeah.
And even if you're experiencing like more difficult experiences, you can still be joyful and
Mm.
grateful for everything that's there, everything in your life. I think that the more
Mm.
I'm laughing, and I'm going to speak for myself.
Yeah.
The more I'm laughing intentionally, the more creative I am, the more I'm sharing with whoever is out there watching what I'm bringing out to the world, the more I put a smile on my face and see that I can help other people smile more, then the more joyful I am.
Mhm.
Even if I'm having a hard day, a hard moment in my day,
Mm.
I know that, okay, it's just an experience right now. It's not going to be there forever.
Yeah.
But this state of joy is what I want to keep nourishing.
Mm.
That's why I created the online programs.
Yeah.
Chaque jour la joie, so everyday joy. Train yourself to joy.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
So it's available. It's available to us every day. This joy. It's not waiting for some condition. And you
No,
mentioned
but you have to
gratitude. You
choose.
have
You
to
have to
choose it.
decide and you have to
You
choose.
have to choose to do that. And I feel so grateful for having met you, having got to know laughter, having it's really has provided me that like joy. I can choose it every day while things are difficult. Things will go up and down. Things don't go my way every day. Things go contrary to my way many days.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, here's a precious day. How can I water joy? How can I water joy? And here is this
By using
approach.
your beautiful little china,
China, yes.
by combing your hair,
Oh, yeah.
by putting a colorful dress and a necklace, by making sure that you're bringing something that's going to remind you
Yeah.
it will pass. And right now, I'm just enjoying this cup.
Yes. Just
Mm,
this. Just this. Beautiful. Beautiful. You're sharing the different programs you have, and I want to put it, I'm putting it in the show notes. And I think you also have an app. And I wonder if,
yeah,
yeah, I wonder if you can just say a couple of things just before we wrap up, a couple of things about the programs you have and how folks can find you.
yeah. Well, the app was something that it's funny because I had audio CDs that I've created, like I've recorded them years ago.
Mm.
And one day I was with my accountant and he says, "Well, a friend of mine is making apps. So I think I wonder like if he'd be open to creating an app for you." Apps were starting then. And
Mm.
so he created something with the audio that I made. It's a version of it, but
Mm.
for that audio CD. And now, like, whoever buys it, because it's not free, it's 250, $2, something
Two
like that.
dollars, not 250, just $2.
No, no,
Yeah,
it's 200. It's $200. No, it's
yeah,
two
yeah,
dollars,
yeah,
$2.50 or something like that. Two
yeah,
49.
yeah.
Anyway, so like you have a bilingual app. So I keep telling people, okay, so guess what? You can switch back and forth
Oh
French,
la
English,
la.
and you're going to laugh in French, and then you're going to laugh in English, and switch, switch, switch. It was a nightmare because they at first it was a French app and an English app, and then
Oh,
Google Play decided that they are the same. I said, no, they're not. One is in French, one is in
oh,
English, and no, they're the same. So I had to merge them and do something. It's very expensive to do these things, but
wow.
I thought this is going to be easy for people whenever you need it. Like you can select your favorite tracks and just play those
Mm,
and laugh with us for a few seconds, a few minutes, whatever you need, it's right there on your phone.
mm. Oh,
That's funny.
beautiful.
That's funny. And it's called Rire Plus with the plus sign,
Uh-huh.
laughter exercise. So if you download it in English, let me show you. It's
Mm.
right here. You see the little
Oh, it says rire
picture?
plus. Yes, yes.
Rire Plus.
Rire
Well,
plus.
I have it in French, but in English it's called Let's Laugh
Let's laugh.
slash laughter exercises.
Beautiful. I'll put the
Very
link.
easy.
Yeah, really good. And what else? You also have this thing like laughter and chocolate thing.
Oh, that's a program that I deliver, though. That's a
Oh,
signature
that's in
program that
person.
I've developed because over the years I was presenting to groups and sometimes I was offering presentations to corporations and to big conferences and
Mm,
large audiences. And I thought, I want to do something a bit different. I need variety in my so I've developed new themes and new
mm,
program. So this is one that I'm offering to physical clients, though. This
in
cannot be
person.
done
Yeah,
online.
yeah, yeah. Okay, but I'll put the link to your website that has all your different programs and online
Oh, I have
things.
something free too.
Oh,
Like it's I was so pleased with myself. It's called Morale Boost, and it's 3 days. So 3 days, 3 emails, 3 tips, 3 minutes of laughter, and you just do that, and I guarantee every day you're going to feel better if you
oh,
do it.
beautiful.
If you're just looking at the screen and if you're just nah. So three different tips, and it's completely free. It's called Morale Boost.
Oh,
And now I'm just finishing because I'm translating some of the programs that I had, like 20 of what is it called? In French, it was 25 jours de présence souriante. In English, it's called 25 days of joyful presence.
mm,
And there's another one that I've just created lately. It's called 14 jours. So 2 semaines de rire. In English, 2 weeks of laughing or 2 weeks of laughter.
yes.
And I'm finishing to work on that. So the videos are done, the visuals are done. I just we need to translate the emails.
Ah,
That's another big $5. I just like it's just the more I laugh, the more creative I am.
yes, you get ideas. How beautiful!
Indeed,
Boost, morale boost, and that's
to
on your
boost your
website.
morale.
Yeah, that's on your website too.
Yeah,
Yeah, beautiful,
all
beautiful.
that I think that you can find everything on my website. And if
Mhm,
you'd like to, like, if you want to just add laughter to your life, then there's always urgence rire, which is emergency laughter. That's
mhm,
how you would translate it. But this is something like we've on the second week of the pandemic in 2020, March
mm.
2020, I've created something, and we had probably 10 minutes laughter yoga sessions per
Oh,
day. And since then, like we've kept going. Last year we went down to twice a day, and this year it's just once a day, but every morning at 8, which is quite early for you guys
yeah.
if you're
Uh,
watching from
So 8
Vancouver.
East Coast, so there'll be 5 West Coast.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
you, like, some of you might be awake,
yeah.
except on Sunday. Sunday it's at 9, so it's at 6
Mm.
for
And this
you.
is live?
It's live.
Ah,
So we're there and we're laughing with whoever shows up, and it's very brief, 10, 12, 15 minute stops.
beautiful, beautiful.
It became kind of a laughter club, an online laughter club, but like 7 days a week
Mm.
for 4 years.
Wow,
I'm very proud of them.
that's amazing. That's
Very, very.
consistent. Hmm. Well, so many different ways for listeners to connect with you and this beautiful work you've done. I so appreciate you. And I'm wondering any final thoughts for the listeners about laughter or anything else just before we end?
I would say that, like, give this a try. What's the
Mm,
worst that can happen? That you're going to laugh for a few seconds and you might just feel better.
yeah.
So give it a try, but not just once. Give it a try a few times and more than once a day.
Mm,
Do something that makes you smile and
yeah.
smile more. If you're not feeling like laughing, just start by smiling.
Mm.
And why don't you add a bit of sound?
Oh.
Thank you so much, Kazim, for
Thank
what
you
you're
so much.
doing. You're such a beautiful person. It's precious, really, seriously. There, I give you this. Ta ta
Oh, I
ta
got a
ta ta
star.
ta ta.
Thank you so much. Truly, thank you for your beautiful, joyous heart. Like such a real, precious, joyous heart, and that for how you are in the world. Really appreciate you, grateful for you. And I want to thank all the listeners for listening. And if you found this useful, feel free to share, like, and subscribe if you haven't. May your moments be filled with ease, and may you be present in as many of them until I catch you in the next episode. Thank you.
Haha, Maste.
Ha ha! Hello there, and thank you so much for stopping by this channel. I hope you find this content useful, and if you do, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It will really help me to reach to more people and keep this content going. Here we are journeying together, and let's see where this takes us.